Okay, so this is just going to be a guide on what I'm thinking, or like my mindset when I'm doing task cycle, what I'm just looking out for during this level in runs. I'll have to. Well, first off, this is completely unscripted, so I'll have to apologize if it's just like any stuttering or just like misinformation and just the noise in the background. So these first 3 jumps, and I'll play this at half speed just to help this. These first 3 jumps will take a bit of getting used to. They're rather tight, but at the same time, it's not like frame perfect. But you do want them as optimal as possible, because that 3rd jump, obviously, there's the crusher, and if you're not quick enough, you will end up getting crushed in between those 2. So for that first jump right here, yeah, this first jump right here, my visual cue to jump is, you can see as the level's going in, the camera's zooming in or zooming out, and then it just, as soon as it stops zooming in, like there, that's when I jump. It's right there, and I'll just play this. I'll waste the time. Right there, that's when I jump. Now this second jump, I can't really say much, it's pretty similar, just make sure it's as optimal as possible. You just need to figure out, yeah, the time where you stop pressing A, or how long you should press A for. I kind of just stop as soon as I cross as soon as I get over the platform. So I stop around there. Now this third jump is kind of complicated and slightly more random, I guess. So this 3rd jump has to be a full jump, or else yeah, you have to get as much height on this as possible, or else you'll either just like sit on this platform and then just get crushed, or yeah, that's basically the only scenario I can think of. But this jump has to be a full jump. So this wall kick, I tap A as soon as I see Mario stop moving upwards. As soon as he starts slowing his like upward ascent from the jump, that's when I let go of A. Or like, not let go of A, but tap A. So yeah, again, it's just another thing that you'll need to get used to. After you get it, don't bother pressing left or holding left. Just release the D-pad. I made the mistake when I was learning task cycle. Just don't bother holding left, I guess. This section, well, it'll take some time getting used to, and I would recommend learning it or doing it as small Mario first, because this wall kick is a bit harder as shallow Mario, or like bigger Mario, I guess. So yeah, I'd say do it as small Mario first. Now this second section is the turnaround section, and it is a bit more complicated and I'd say a bit random. So you want to just turn around there, and that's obviously not all I'm going to say, because this is definitely the hardest part of the task cycle. So I'm just going to go through what I'm thinking. I've already said that, but yeah. As soon as I make it up here, I don't hold left, obviously. I start pressing right, and then make it up on top of this platform as soon as possible. Now this part, it differs between runner to runner. I'm pretty sure almost everyone who does task cycle and runs does it differently. So as soon as So obviously this is my tutorial, so I'm just gonna say what I do. As soon as I make it to this platform, I have to get my mouse out for this. Oh dear. So you see this line right here. I'm assuming my mouse is showing up in OBS. This line right here in the background. I line up the back of Mario's hat to that line right there, and then I hold neutral. I want to make sure that I do that before the platform underneath you, underneath Mario, starts moving, or else obviously you just be offset. So as soon as that happens, as soon as I'm lined up, I just hold neutral. And then you see, usually at this point I jump in order to move the camera upwards, because my visual cue is these top platforms at the top. That's when I know when to start holding right. So I start holding right as soon as I can see that those top platforms have opened. Obviously I was a bit late there, but I mean, yeah. As soon as I see those top platforms start to move, that's when I start holding right. And then when I see a wide enough gap to jump through, I jump over. But I don't want to do it too early, or else I risk brushing up against that platform right there and then losing speed. Now the turnaround. Now this is the turnaround itself. This is definitely the hardest part of the TAS cycle. It's not as annoying as the first section, because you can't really die. The most that will happen if you don't pull it off is you just miss a cycle. You don't die and lose the shell and then reset 50 times to get the shell back. But the annoying thing is it has to be as good as possible, or else you won't make it. So I'll just zoom in a bit like that. So as soon as I make it above this platform, actually that's not what I should be saying. You can't turn around too early, or else you will pixel stop, because you won't have any speed. When I'm doing TAS cycle, I try to gain as much speed as possible in the least amount of time and space as possible. So I need to move onto the platform slightly enough to just gain enough speed, because again, if you turn around too early, you won't have enough speed and you'll end up pixel stopping on this corner and then not being able to make the cycle. And you can't turn around and jump too late, or else you'll end up missing the cycle. So yeah, this is just something that I'm really shit at explaining. So obviously if you just watch this back through enough times, you'll be able to understand what I'm saying. Now at this point I just start spamming jump. I don't know what it does, but it feels like it makes my chances of making the cycle a bit more like... Oh, and Sony Baker's just crashed. No, it's not. Yeah, it feels like it increases the chances of making the cycle if I spam jump once I make it above the platform. So that's the turnaround section. You're going to have to just grind that out as soon as you learn TAS cycle, because the timing is very specific. Now, that I intentionally brush up against that platform, because that moves me back slightly. I don't know if it's very obvious right there. So I personally find this wall kick much harder to do when I'm directly up against the wall. So by brushing myself up against the platform, I end up here on the platform, on this platform, not directly up against the wall, and then that just makes the wall kick a bit easier. Now, yeah, this jump into the wall kick should last quite long. You should find yourself like around halfway through the platform, or like past the platform, this platform right here. You should find yourself around like halfway through it when you do the wall kick. And right here is a massive run killer, because that's a vertically moving platform. You have the chance to pixel stop, and then it feels as far as we know, it's a complete dice roll as to whether or not you pixel stop, so it is a run killer. You can't really avoid it. If you pixel stop, you get crushed by that platform above area right now. That wall kick is not necessary. You don't really have to do it. That one right there. You can just stay in the shell and rebound off of the wall. If you're doing that, be sure to jump slightly early to avoid to like prevent bonking against this platform and the wall. And if you're doing the wall kick, jump so that you're somewhat like slightly past the platform when you're doing the kick. Like, make sure you don't jump so early that you end up above this platform, this blue platform, because then you'll just stand there. So yeah, that's where I do the wall kick. Just a bit of a morphing there. Just make it up these platforms, and then the staircase, you want to land as far left on the second platform as possible. If necessary, which is what I did, I like press left slightly. Just shimmy back and forth right there. Just so it's I do that in order to avoid like brushing up against the platform in front of you and then losing all your speed. And then the wall kicks are literally the same as in just like a normal cycle. And I don't know if anyone else does this. I don't think this is like worth pointing out, because I feel like it should be something that everyone is doing already. You should watch the thumbs right there. Once I make it halfway past the platform, I do this swiping up motion from down to up, and then that just makes it so I can enter the door like that. Obviously I had issues with this infamously, and then people made fun of me for not being able to make that a few months ago, but now I've got it down, so I just swipe from bottom to up like that, as you can see. Now this trick, really, I don't think it's worth going for it if you yeah, as I say at the as I showed at the beginning of the video, I showed a disclaimer that if there's time to save through deaths or improved movement, you shouldn't be wasting your time learning this trick, because oh, that's my Discord. You shouldn't be wasting your time learning this trick, or else, because you'll be wasting time learning a trick that isn't even necessary to PB, when you could be spending time improving consistency and movement, which are both much more useful in later, I guess, for runs. But yeah, I think that's about it. I'm sorry if my explaining was dog shit. I know it is, but yeah, thanks for watching. I'm assuming there's not that much wrong with the audio. I know there's a fan going on, and at the beginning of the video my sister was watching a video, so apologies for that, and the stuttering obviously, but thanks for watching.